Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So today we are going to talk about something really important, that is retrieval augmented generation. Have you ever thought that LLM, why does it start hallucinating? It's because of its context limit. As you can see here, it's called a genius with amnesia. It's because it can't retain any memory. Like humans, we can retain a lot of memories. There are neural pathways and all that. But the best LLM can retain maximum of 2000 pages. That is around 1 million tokens. I think there is 1.5 million tokens also right now. So that's Gemini. But even that is not enough because we are working with huge amounts of data. So there is a smart solution for this that is called RAG. So it's called Retrieval Augmented Generation. And I'll tell you what is it right now. So technically what happens is when the context limit is hit, or when you're giving the AI a lot of context to work with, it'll start hallucinating because it actually cannot retrieve that context and it'll start making up answers for you. So that is not an option for us. So what do we do? If you've ever heard about open book exams, that's exactly what's RAG. So AI doesn't retrieve all the information. It retrieves chunks of those information and it'll just index it using a S number or something like that. The serial number is something which is there in an index of a book. So it's something similar. AI will just go through the index and just memorize that index alone, and it will know where to look when the user asks for the question. So it browses through the index, retrieves that information which it needs, and comes back with the complete answer to the user. This small tweak helped LLM to retrieve huge amounts of data which was not possible before. So this is what I just explained to you guys. A large source doc is divided into chunks, manageable facts, and these manageable facts are embedded in a vector graph. This is a vector graph. And what happens is it is allocated this coordinate that is actually, like I told you, right, a serial number. So these coordinates are memorized by the LLM. It can be also called GPS for meaning. And when user asks for a word, it will check for the closest GPS coordinate to that word. That is something similar to the meaning. Something that has the highest probability to be the most closest to that word. According to that logic, it will group it and it will retrieve the information in that chunk. So this is basically the RAG workflow. It chunks it, it embeds it, and after that it retrieves the right card. So there are three types of RAG, or I could say three types of data retrieval, because text to SQL is not exactly RAG, but it does retrieve information, and I'll tell you how. So first is vector RAG. Vector RAG is what we discussed until now. It divides a large source doc into manageable facts, and after that it will embed those chunks into a vector graph like this and just map the meaning, which is the closest meaning to the user's query, and it will just find out like that. So that was vector RAG. It's the basic principle of RAG. But after that we have SQL RAG, and SQL RAG is not exactly RAG, because what happens here is vector RAG can work with text data, sometimes with a small number of numeric data, but the calculations and all, it can't do it. It just maps the meaning to the nearest word. But SQL RAG can do calculations. It can retrieve data from your database. It'll totally work with fixed facts, like a whole database. If you want to know how much was your sales last month or last year, or how it was comparing to the sales of the last 10 years, everything can be done using SQL RAG. What SQL RAG does is, when you work with an LLM forms this SQL commands and runs it through your database and comes back with the facts you were asking for. So it's as simple as that. There is no embedding, there is no vector graph and all that, but it does help you retrieve your data. And the last one is graph RAG. This is a bit different. This is very useful when you have to work with complex relations. For example, if a person has a shell company and he has made a transaction, you can connect that all in a graph RAG and you can understand. For example, if you're working with a family tree, in a normal vector RAG, you cannot map relations. So how will you do that? In a graph RAG, you can actually map them using the principle of connectivity. So if your dad is related to you, and your mom is related to you, and your aunt is related to you, this is how a typical graph RAG can look. That's how we find out they are related. So that was a short synopsis of what RAG is. In the upcoming video, I'll be making these RAG workflows one by one. First, I'll be making a vector RAG, then an SQL agent RAG. We may not be making graph RAG because it's not used frequently. But vector RAG and SQL agent is used in day-to-day basis by many companies. We'll be making both different workflows, and after that integrating it with one LLM and calling it agentic RAG. It can choose wisely to go with which type of RAG and it'll retrieve the answer for you according to that. So that is called agentic RAG, and we'll work with that. So this is exactly what I was talking about. For structured data, we'll be using SQL. For unstructured data, we'll be using vector, and we'll be combining them to make an agentic RAG. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.